In the vibrant heart of Edo, sprawling with lantern-lit passages and bustling streets, lay the illustrious district of Yoshiwara. It was a place where masks came alive and reality was ever elusive, a theater of dreams and desires wrapped in silken threads. Among the many stories whispered through its corridors, one name resonated with extraordinary allure: Sayuri. Little more than a name when she first entered the district, Sayuri was sold for the price of a single meal. Her origins were unremarkable, obscured by the passing hands of commerce. Yet, beneath the humble beginnings, she carried something powerful, an indomitable spirit and a keen, observant eye. Sayuri once watched them all from the shadows. The famed, bejeweled Oiran, who glided through the streets like living art, draped in layers of embroidered kimonos, their hair styled in elaborate towers. To be an Oiran was not merely a role, it was a reinvention, wearing smiles like armor and melancholy like a garment, an intricate dance between being seen and remaining unseen. Sayuri's rise was gradual, like the sunset reaching for the horizon, casting its warm glow slowly upon the world. Her initial movements within Yoshiwara were tentative, her presence but a whisper, until her beauty and intelligence began to turn heads. The skill of performance, learned by watching others carefully, became her weapon and her salvation. A year passed, marked by days blurred together in practice and nights illuminated by lanterns swinging in the breeze. Sayuri was quickly noticed by the patrons who flocked to Yoshiwara, seeking to drown in the sense of ephemeral belonging it offered. As an apprentice, her name became familiar, spoken with fledgling admiration and interest. Through carefully steered encounters and beguiling moments, an aura grew around her, spiraling into the mythos of Yoshiwara itself. She became more than Sayuri. She was a symbol, a testament to metamorphosis within the narrow confines of gilded cages. But her journey to become an Oiran was not merely to seek reverence. Sayuri harbored a solitary dream, etched deeply within her. Freedom, that intangible whisper within the soul. Her ascent was marked not only by the finery she donned, but by the connections she meticulously forged. Sayuri learned the dance of words, turning each conversation into a step toward her liberation. She played her role exceptionally, using the performance to mask intentions until the time was right. At last, Sayuri emerged as an Oiran, the coveted beauty draped in 1,000 secrets, her towering sandals echoing through the lantern-lit streets, each step choreographed as poetry. The audience, beguiled by surface beauty, saw only the visage of elegance and allure. Yet behind each carefully practiced smile lay a map to freedom, a plan resonating with every heartbeat. Sayuri, adored yet always yearning, held the key to her own dreams, concealed beneath layers of silken tapestry and hushed whispers. In Yoshiwara, a place both a prison and a stage, Sayuri danced to her own song. She played the part like an artist, always envisioning the open horizon that lay beyond the vibrant confines of Edo's dreams. Takahime-sama reclines in the water, her skin gleaming like polished ivory. Takahime notices you, and her gaze holds you captive. "New girl," she calls, extending a pale arm. "Come and meet your mistress." You approach cautiously, heart pounding. Takahime-sama's fingers are long and elegant, almost ethereal. Her touch is softer than the finest silk as she lifts your chin. "What's your name?" she asks, her voice a melodic whisper. "Tatsuno," you reply, the name feeling foreign. She smiles, a gesture both warm and calculating. "You'll do well, Tatsuno." You nod, though uncertainty coils around your heart. Weeks progress, your days begin before dawn, and end long past sunset. The bustling house fills with giggles and gossip, but work is endless. Your duties change daily, from waking Takahime-sama to running errands. Koi, Sakura, and Momiji guide you through each task, their friendship a small comfort in an unfamiliar world. Leisure moments once, Takahime-sama allows you to watch her prepare for her evening. Her dressing ritual intrigues you. You see her transform from the lady of leisure to a goddess in shades of silk and gold leaf. Her hair is arranged in intricate knots before finished with ornate hairpieces. She asks you to hold a mirror while she applies white powder to her face, glossed her lips. Observing carefully, you marvel at the transformation. As Takahime-sama exits, her presence commands respect and admiration. Courtesans bow and guests hush. A dream awoken in rare moments of quiet, you stare out at the glowing lanterns of Yoshiwara from your quarters. This floating world is alive and vibrant, yet you sometimes long for your father's fish stall for simplicity. One night, a soft knock announces Koi at your door. She gestures you to follow her outside. Against the silhouette of Yoshiwara gates, the city sleeps beneath its blanket of stars. Do you miss him? She asks gently, mirroring your thoughts. Every day, you reply quietly. This world can be yours, she says, pointing to Yoshiwara. But never forget yourself. Her words linger as you return to your futon. The ambitious path time passes, and you grow, learning the fine art of manners, dance, and literature. The skills etched in determination become your shield. Takahime-sama remains your mentor, guiding your transformation. Rumors of promotions circulate, whispers of your potential to ascend. You no longer just exist, you engage with your surroundings. One day, Takahime-sama informs you of your appointment to a junior rank of courtesans. Strive, she quietly imparts. Above all, honor. Her words ignite ambition within. You prepare for your debut. A blend of eagerness and trepidation colors your emotions. Your kimono lies stretched before you, layers as beautiful as implied stories. As you embark down the path lit by historical grandeur, the mirror reflects a girl evolved from hardships. The air crackles with expectation as you step into the open, under the mute gaze of cherry blossoms. Epilogue years merge into one another. You've carved your path from kamuro girl to courtesan. While your work rises through challenges, you ponder escape, but the open gates of Yoshiwara symbolize freedom only in dreams. Indeed, amid gilded cages, you realize a bittersweet truth. Enduring memories never waver. Behind vibrant silk and extravagant nails, the girl from Edo persists. As performers play, and the night deepens, you often revisit the tale of an 8-year-old sold without ceremony. Your father, the stall, distant but alive, now pay homage to a time of genuine warmth. Tatsuno, little dragon, poised yet undone. Asterisk asterisk fin asterisk asterisk. Tatsuno awoke to the gentle chaos of Yoshiwara, still a place of unfamiliar sights and sounds. She had slept restlessly, the inner turmoil of her new life keeping her mind active even as her body rested. In the dimness of the early morning, the house was still quiet, the echo of her dream trailing behind, leaving traces of the sea on her thoughts. Today marked the first real steps into her training, where she would learn the art of serving beauty, presented as a seamless part of the ethereal world of the courtesan. Tatsuno resolved to embrace whatever came her way, recognizing the privilege in her new life despite its cage-like allure. Awake already, Momiji appeared, noticing Tatsuno quietly folding her futon. You're eager, that's good. But remember, patience is your closest ally here. Tatsuno nodded solemnly, knowing her position was one both envied and dreaded. She was determined to be prepared, responsive to the subtleties that dictated success in this world. Armed with this resolve, Tatsuno followed Momiji to the common area, where her fellow kamuro gathered their implements, prepared for the day's duties. As they worked, Tatsuno absorbed their graceful movements, witnessing the intricate dance in preparation for the Oiran's waking hours. Takahime emerged from her quarters in quintessential splendor, wrapped in vibrant silks and flawless makeup. Tatsuno's task, humble and critical, was to observe, anticipate the needs of the esteemed beauty. She stood to the back, always in shadow, never occupying space beyond her duty. The day unfolded with ritual precision, a series of tasks and traditions steeped in elegance. In the presence of Takahime, Tatsuno learned to witness the world as it was, a spectacle masked by profound illusion. Each action, gesture, and smile carefully crafted like a performance, exacting as that of stage play. As evening approached, preparation for Takihime's audience commenced. Tatsuno watched the interactions, divided by invisible thresholds of status, yet united by the pursuit of the courtesan's favor. Gifts and praises adorned the air like petals in the wind, but Tatsuno learned quickly that true affection lay beneath masks thicker than lead makeup. Her thoughts often turned to Takahime, the vision of untouchable beauty, a pinnacle of aspirations mixed with tangible melancholy. Tatsuno knew that beneath the artistry lay a woman shaped by the world of appearances, where emotions were trained away like imperfections in a precious gem. As the night wore on, she stood in waiting, assisting as Takihime's layers were removed, revealing the raw human beneath. Tatsuno saw glimpses of the vulnerability that hid behind the formidable facade. Curiosity, little dragon, Takahime mused softly as Tatsuno helped her to bed, can be both your friend and your foe here. With those words lingered the haunting echo of illusion versus reality, where Tatsuno's role danced precariously on the edge of both. Her future in the floating world remained uncertain. She might rise as Takahime did, polished and revered, yet she questioned at what cost. As Tatsuno laid down that night, sleep came unstressed by dreams, carrying within it the hope for understanding amidst the artifice. In the quiet, she realized her awakening had only just begun. In the bustling district of Yoshiwara, known for its allure and decadence, a young girl named Hana was no longer the simple fish seller's daughter she once was. By the tender age of 13, she had been propelled into the gilded world of Shinzo, an apprentice Oiran, upon the discerning request of Takahime, a renowned Oiran herself. Takahime's approval elevated Hana within the ranks, yet it came with a stern reminder from the house mother, who inspected her with the cold eye of a seasoned hunter, marking her as acceptable. Shinzo who fail, the house mother warned, become maids or worse. It was a harsh reality. In this world, prosperity and despair were but a whisper apart. Within the echoes of the dressing room, attendants enveloped Hana in layers of ceremonial robes. Each piece, from the striking pale pink silk to the meticulously embroidered cherry blossoms, signaled her assent. It wasn't just the garments that measured her transformation, but the profound weight of expectations. The dresser's critical eyes scanned Hana's form, shaped by youth but defined by survival. Too many ribs showing, she clucked. Men don't pay for bones. Her words were a sharp reminder that in Yoshiwara, attention from men was powerful currency, even if it turned Hana's skin to ice. The ritual of beauty was endless. Her hair was elegantly sculpted into the traditional wear-shinobu style, held together with ornamental tortoiseshell pins that bit into her scalp. The hairdresser whispered almost conspiratorially, "Beauty hurts, little dragon." White lead painted her face into a mask of purity. In the private quarters, Takahime, dazzling in a midnight blue silk robe, greeted Hana. You think you know what it is to be an Oiran, she mused. But you don't. Her words were a gateway to the grueling reality that lay ahead. Shamisen lessons stretched Hana's patience as her fingers bled. Calligraphy strained her hands, yet these were merely drills in a long rehearsal. Days were spent shadowing Takahime, observing the mastery of artifice with which she lived. From the laughter that never seemed forced to the pour of sake that seemed as natural as breathing, Takahime demonstrated that nothing was uncalculated. Hana asked if it was exhausting to always perform. Of course, Takahime replied with a sad smile, but the alternative is worse, being powerless. By night, Hana and Koi, a fellow shinzo, practiced their arts in secret, poetry, music, confidence. Koi feared failure more than death. Rivalries were dangerous, too. Mizuki, another shinzo, undermined Hana by spilling ink onto her kimono. Yet Hana turned this silent feud into motivation, as Takahime wisely advised, become so excellent she'd look foolish to compete. Months passed, and Hana learned to navigate the social labyrinth. Hana silently attended the banquets where Takahime's charm entrapped both daimyos and merchants alike. Offers and gifts flowed, but Hana noticed Takahime's preference for practicality over empty words. Yet the specter of Mizuage loomed, her virginity's auction. Terrified, Hana sought Takahime's counsel. Business, was the resigned reply, pressing a porcelain vial into Hana's hands. 2 drops in his drink. Slow him down. The gesture, though simple, vibrated with unspoken compassion. As the time drew near for her debut, Hana found herself dressed in layers upon layers of tradition and expectation. Servants scrubbed her, clad her in 5 ceremonial kimonos, each layer a testament to her status and anonymity. Autumn leaves, cranes, indigo dragons swirling around her. The house mother, for the first time, knelt before her, solemnly intoning the words of change. Today you become Oiran. The procession along Nakano-cho authenticated her new identity as Takahime led the way. Faces of strangers each held speculation. Some awe, some envy, others whispered of Yumi, destined perhaps to be her rival. That evening, Matsudura, the government official slated for her Mizuage, arrived. Numbing her nerves, Hana slipped the potion into his drink. The night was a haze, softened by the jade dragon charm from Takahime, resting as a silent watcher. As dawn peeked through the curtains, Hana lay beside the sleeping Matsudera, reflecting on the transformation. She had survived. She was an Oiran now. But even in triumph, the question lingered heavily. What did it truly mean to wear this mantle of silk and elegance, to carry a history unchosen, stepping into a future tethered by duty? In the quiet, away from the prying gaze of the world, Hana vowed silently to never lose sight of who she was beneath the artifice of glory. At 21, Tatsuno was a celebrated Oiran of the prestigious Yoroso house, her name immortalized in ukiyo-e prints. Each morning marked the start of her transformation. She immersed herself in a cherry blossom-scented bath, her hair meticulously arranged in the elaborate gojo leaf style. She applied the traditional white lead makeup with practiced elegance, fully aware of the poison seeping into her skin. A young attendant observed her rituals, naive concern in her voice. Does it hurt, Tatsuno-sama? Tatsuno smiled softly. No, she lied. You get used to it. That evening, the house hosted a banquet for the prominent Nakamura brothers, esteemed rice merchants. Tatsuno captivated her audience not only with her beauty, but also with her sharp intellect. Quoting the celebrated Saikaku, cherry blossoms are like courtesans, most beautiful before they fall. Her shamisen performance, enriched with years of emotion and technique, commanded respect from all, although the younger Oiran, such as the vibrant Yumi, began to attract newer attentions. Tatsuno's Dana, Dinzaman, a loyal patron, frequently visited with lavish gifts. However, The house mother claimed all offerings, ensuring that Tatsuno's debt never seemed to diminish, only swell with mysterious charges. Hidden away, Tatsuno treasured a secret garden box containing Takahime's jade dragon, stolen coins, and her personal writings. Denzamin often whispered dreams of buying her contract, fueling a flicker of hope within her. Yet Mizuki, once a peer and now an Oiran herself, cautioned Tatsuno against such fantasies. She revealed the house mother's deceit. Her debt had doubled without reason to a staggering 7,300 ryo. Driven by desperation, Tatsuno picked the lock of the house mother's chamber and discovered the fraudulent records. Concealing her rage, Tatsuno approached the house mother with fabricated fear of leaving Yoshiwara's confines. Her performance convinced the house mother. The house mother assured her of protection while plotting to inflate her price further. With growing uncertainty, Tatsuno confided in Denzamin. Together they crafted a plan, leveraging his political ties to initiate an audit of Yoshiwara's contracts. Time passed, and at 24, Tatsuno noticed the marks of age, a faint line near her lips, silver streaks in her hair, and an occasional tremor from the lead poisoning. The younger Yumi, now hailed as the Nightingale, overshadowed Tatsuno with her artistry on the koto. During a tea-house banquet, Tatsuno's adept shamisen playing continued to hold its charm, but the house mother sternly warned of her waning allure, slyly suggesting more extreme measures to maintain her position. Without Denzamin's familiar presence, the house mother's suspicion grew. Yet, a secret letter arrived from him, containing a cryptic message. The crane prepares to fly. 3 days hence. On the designated third day, a magistrate's clerk knocked on the door, declaring an official audit on the house's contracts. In the receiving room, he revealed the truth. Tatsuno's legitimate debt amounted to merely 1,600 ryo. To her disbelief, Denzamin had settled it, cleverly ensuring her manumission with the magistrate's approval. "You're no longer bound to Yoshiwara." The clerk's voice rang with unwavering authority. The house mother's fury blazed, yet her anger was powerless against the legal finality. Tatsuno knelt, not to submit, but to conceal the triumph in her eyes. She understood that the house mother's ire could yet seek retribution, but in this pivotal moment, her life as Tatsuno, the Oiran, began to dissolve. Emerging from the shadow of her past, she clutched the jade dragon, a symbol of her enduring spirit, ready to walk into an uncertain but promising future. This marked the beginning of a new life, filled with possibilities beyond the confining gates of Yoshiwara. The girl behind the mask took her first steps into freedom.